Hello and welcome, folks. This is Bardic DM, and welcome to episode 10 of Seekers of Legend, Forging the New Gods. Bloody hell, we're 10 episodes in already.
It doesn't feel like it, though.
No, but it also doesn't feel like we've been going for nearly for just gone 2 months either.
Feels like we've only just started.
Well, you're less than a fifth of the way through what I planned to be the adventure, so you're still in the early stages.
Yay!
And I was doing the calculations when I was trying to figure out, the number of episodes likely to do, and I'm just thinking, dear God, this could be as long, if not longer, than Critical Role, depending on how long you guys take in between the various dealing with the various deities. That should be interesting. Though, thankfully, we won't have to have the issue of occasionally having to stop due to award shows and stuff. Or if we do, I'm going to be very surprised.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm supposed to win an Emmy tomorrow, so...
Didn't think it was award season. Won't make any other jokes than that because I have no idea. So how is everybody?
I'm doing good, except that I couldn't find my mic for a bit.
Always fun.
Yeah, knocked it behind my desk.
Just adjusting the volume there a bit. So, as of last week, you completely circumvented half the adventure we were planning to do through good stealth rolls and a surprisingly high acting roll from Quoth.
Still managed to kill one of the bosses somehow.
Well, yes, that's what happens when you start leaving random explosives as a wake-up present for people.
Like have our calling card, people.
Yeah, Birdie acts, and then fire happens.
Yes.
I prepared explosive rings today.
Oh dear, and I do believe we've just turned this party from would-be Ascendant Gods to would-be Ascendant Deadpool impersonators.
I think I like that a lot better. We're the new X-Force.
It was close enough.
What?
So does that mean a majority of us are gonna die by falling?
Let us not go into the potential woes of Marvel at the moment. If we do, we'll be here all night.
I dual wield blade. Well, will be dual wielding blades. So I think I'm close enough to take the poor world, so I'm safe at least.
Yes, but you don't make enough fourth wall breaking humour and you don't make enough puns. I think if anyone, it's more.
We can fix that easily enough.
Please don't. I may be tempted to start having rocks fall.
Everyone dies.
Yep. I might even go for the recent pun I saw of it, where instead of it being rocks falling, it is a rock falling on you because someone thinks something's damaged its wing.
Nice.
What? No acne anchor?
No, because I don't want to turn this into Quest for Camelot. And there are very few people who are going to get that joke.
I got it.
Figured you would. I was honestly surprised that Anna didn't.
No, I got it.
Just wasn't funny.
I'm just resisting the urge to make all the inappropriate jokes because of it.
Fair enough. You're learning restraint. This is confusing.
You and me both, man.
I worked last night until 3 in the morning. I'm gonna have lots of restraint.
If anything, I'd have figured that would be the opposite way around. Normally, if I've been awake till 3 in the morning, my restraint is at an all-time low. why I don't go out
No,
on those
because
days.
the madness becomes more unfitting when I'm really tired, so I actually have to think about what I say.
Ah, right. Fair enough then.
Meanwhile, I'm usually operating at 3 a.m., so it's normal for me.
Yeah, but when your day started at 5 in the morning and then ends at 3 in the morning the next day.
That is wrong on so many levels.
Mhm.
There should only be one 5 o'clock and one 3 o'clock, and they should not be followed by AM. Right. That aside.
For those of you who do not know, I do some work for the Theater Tech Union on the side, and they had a job for me, so that's why if I sound tired.
You are.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But let's get to killing things.
Well,
We have a siege to kill.
you've got 6 weeks of prep first, and I do believe there are at least a few plans that are about to go underway.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't be surprised by the sudden sound of snoring from Anna later on in the day. Got it.
No, that's not going to happen until later. As soon as we stop the game, I'm probably going to immediately shut the computer down and pass out.
At which point you'll be. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I've wired her with espresso injection, so she'll survive at least the campaign.
No, I have my dog who's behind me and scratching me at intervals anytime I get too sleepy.
Oh.
Even better.
Well, at least it wasn't. Well, I was going to say, I was half expecting that the minute you tried passing out, it was going to be a case of large fluffy thing landing on you, going, play with me. Or does your dog not do the whole wake you up when you try and sleep thing?
No, actually she doesn't do that. She just gently hits you with the back of her paw and pants in your face.
Right. So that is so Anna's state of exhaustion aside, right? Let's get to the various plans and machinations that are going to make me regret sending make me regret sending a siege against you guys again.
Yeah. All right. First, the most important order of business for Bottom. How much blasting gel do we have?
Let's see. With the amount you've used already, you've probably used about half of what you had so far.
That's a lot more than what I was considering.
Well, might be closer to 2/3 actually. Now I'm thinking about it, just having to review in my head how much you've used. But yeah, you've probably got about a third of it left.
All right, good. Well, that should be enough at least to hopefully take out the siege engines while they're on the way here. Then I'm gonna have some plans waiting. I'm gonna have some traps waiting for them.
Oh, by the way, guys, for those of you who have named NPCs as minions, I've given them their stats, and put them in so you can control them. But I've not done like equipment or feats or skills because I figured I'd let you guys pick those.
Okay.
If you need any help with that during the week, just let me know.
Quick question.
Yep.
I rolled a pretty high spellcraft. Did any of the gladiators look like they could have become maguses?
I'll need to scroll back a second. I'm trying to remember myself. Let's see.
Yeah, I had a 27 knowledge arcana and a 20 spellcraft to try and figure out if any would be able to.
There's some minor potential, but you don't know if you could get them ready in the 6 weeks you've got to do that. You could make a shot at it, but it would be a lower likelihood than other arcane training.
Well, she will at least go up to them and say this is an option, and even though I can't do it before the siege, if you want to learn it, by all means, I will gladly teach you, and it will be amazing.
Behold the most broken combat unit in all of the world.
And also, I'm going to make another spellcraft roll to see if any of the rogues can actually have the wonderful, wonderful archetype. Oh, I'm just going to double check, make sure I get the name right. Yeah, where are you?
Arcane Tricksters?
No, it is Eldritch Scoundrel. They're
Yeah.
the rogues that can cast spells.
Hey, don't steal my recruits.
Oh dear. Just what I need to see. Sneak attacking with touch spells. Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they can go into Arcane Trickster faster.
then it's just a constant barrage of vampiric touches.
But yeah, but Emma will go up to Arisk and let him know that this is an option, and will ask permission if she notices anyone with the potential to have this path open for them. Mostly because she can't keep giving him quotes if they need magic backup during scouting missions.
To be fair, I've got Nyx's magic for scouting missions.
Yeah, but this will be, they can actually cast wizard spells.
Mm.
So they'll be a little bit stronger magic.
Oh, different types of magic too.
Yeah. You saying that your arcane is better than my divine?
In Emma's world, yes. She's like, yeah. Because at some point we're all going to technically have divine abilities.
Eris reminds himself he probably needs to mention that to Nyx. And Aaron. I'll say, take the ones that haven't said with any specialized training yet. Avoid the nice specialists and the snipers.
That's fine. Again, I'm just going to give them the option. It's their decision on whether or not they want to learn.
I know. It's about that. I know. Sorry. All your characters start running together at this point.
Yeah, because this is
I get.
can have things that the other side doesn't. And the more surprises we can give them, the more we can keep them on their toes, the better.
I know you repeat that at least once a session, Anna.
Well, that'd be something. Well, so we have Emma's catchphrase.
Yep.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm assuming some of these gladiators are probably beat up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mind if I do a heal check?
Not. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and I should also introduce you to the other two. Yeah, they're patched up, and I should introduce you to the other two members of the sort of gladiator council as well, shouldn't I? You know, the two they picked up as sort of representatives. So there's Torana. Hopefully you can see her.
Okay.
Just to say, she is supposed to be a full-blooded elf, but somebody got rather gave her ears a close shave. And Erlanus. So, can you see that alright?
Yep, so I'm just fine.
Just checking. I know sometimes if you close it too early that Roll20 won't have it pop up for players, which always frustrates me. Right, so let's see. So I believe you wanted to make a spellcraft check to see if you could spot any potential rogues with arcane ability, correct?
Or the ability to learn it, because
Yeah.
Eldritch Scoundrel is more of a rogue wizard than anything else. 26.
You would probably find a couple of elves, most likely, who would fit the bill. Unsurprisingly, bonus to int and dex, kind of built for that class, or that archetype rather.
Well, she will go up and at least offer. She'll say that this is teaching that she can give. It probably won't be until after the siege, but
Yeah, they're
she'll be
interesting.
willing to teach if they want to learn.
Yeah, they're definitely interested. And I just thought, does this mean that with her whole preparedness doctrine, that Emma's future faith is going to be effectively the equivalent of the Scouts? As in the institution in the real world, not military position. Always be prepared. Or some such. Wouldn't know, don't have them over here.
Yeah, that's.
I will neither admit or deny.
That's an admission in and of itself.
Alright. Next, something else we need to take care of. Next, we should decide what sort of animal aspect you're going to give our little forest ritual.
Hold on, I'm trying to...
Oh, what now?
Remember last week the ritual we were going to do in the forest?
Well, you need to do research into... Or did you already finish making the ritual site? I think you still need to research that.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we have to research it first, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Right,
remember
right.
doing. I don't remember. You have to remind me what it was again.
The basic...
Emma and Verboten were researching that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And...
And Eris is just filling up that because it was his idea.
And... Right. So... We can have... So... I'll move you guys over for now to the first floor of the city map. And that way we can have you guys... effectively have you guys inside for now, and then we can pick some areas for where you want to do the various stuff. So, let's see, from what I recall, we also had Krogel wanting to do some interesting research into different smelting techniques. And experiments with his blood. And, Aaron, I believe you also wanted to look into doing a bit more training.
Yeah, I want to start getting more people together and start trying to do like the ritual sites, and then help the other guys in their domain start their rituals.
Yeah, and I also believe you wanted to try and get some philosophy-based clerics as well.
Yeah.
Right. So. Right. So let's see. You okay, Nashi? Should not have my hand in front of my mouth when I'm hosting a show.
Nash, are you there?
Yeah, he was typing. So, let's see, we'll go in order that it was mentioned, so we'll start with the ritual research. So anyone who wants to get in on the ritual research and potential for applications there, just let me know and we'll see what roles we should be doing.
I've got use magic device, and that's about it.
I think probably my knowledge religion is best suited for that.
Yep.
I got spellcraft.
Yeah.
Emma has all knowledges and will very much be willing to do it, mostly to try and figure out if there's a way to make what will be needed to make it a permanent thing on the feature.
Okay. So, if you can roll me either spellcraft, knowledge arcane, knowledge religion,
Okay.
or use magic device, or knowledge engineering you can also use as well, but that'll come for later aspects.
was the other one? Knowledge engineering?
Yeah.
I am really low today.
I think everyone is. Well, apart from the your earlier 26 and Aaron's 24.
I mean, this check is going to be a little bit harder for us since we're not keen on it.
Okay. So, between the lot of you, you know that you should be able to. That you'll need an open. That you'll preferably need an open space of some variety. So you could use part of the valley, or you could use part of the base camp. And you'll need to create a ritual site, marking it with runes. Let's see. So let me double check through some of the other roles. Okay. Emma, from what you know, you would need ways of making it permanent. You would need gems to act as magical foci, and probably to fill in the actual ritual circle with a magically reactive metal, so mithril or gold.
I actually have both coins and gems we could use, over 1,000 gold's worth. I would gladly sacrifice it for the group. I have 12 grand. This is from when I was searching through the rich dwarves area, seeing if there was anything left behind.
Yes.
Oh.
Aaron, from your check, you know of a few different ritual circles that can be used. Some that can be used for projecting beneficial or negative effects. Different circles which give bonuses to the different types. You also recall from your meditations a series of staves or markers that could be used to create or mark out temporary circles. And used as sort of a mobile casting circle.
Okay.
They can be made from anything. Again, gold or mithril is preferable, but you could make them from steel and not suffer any negatives.
Let's go with the gold. The rest is more important to us currently.
Yeah. What was I going to say? But the most effective circle for what you guys are looking for, along with the exterior runes, would be to create a thaumaturgical effect, which means you would create a map within the circle and then use probably another craft rune-imbued circle, a sort of portable one, to mark what area you're looking to affect with the ritual.
I like this. This would be perfect for when we start making raids on the approaching army.
So you've got some general ideas, and it will take you a while because you'll need to get a detailed map, preferably with samples from the area that you're going to be making a map of, to give a bit more of a resonance.
I'd be out at least among those people who's going to be scouting the approaching army, so I could probably do both at the same time.
Okay. You will need someone to actually design the various rituals, which can be done with either spellcraft, or if it's divine magic, knowledge religion, or knowledge arcana if it's arcane magic, to design the various rituals you're looking to do.
Emma's gonna do a spellcraft check to try and think of what would be the best to way to make it what would give the most bang for the buck.
Okay. Alright. Small question. Are you looking to affect the camp or the enemy?
Emma's main thing is to try and mostly affect the camp to kind of give it some more protection and try and weaken anything that the other spellcasters can do in that area.
Okay. Right. I'll just have to double check some spells, but I can think of a couple. I'll get back to you in just a second. If anyone else wants to be rolling and asking any other questions, just feel free.
Yeah. Mostly she's thinking of trying to use the river. If there's a way to actually use the water element of the river to suppress anyone trying to cast fire in an area around them.
Okay. Right you are.
Surprise, I just gave our base spell resistance.
You're not strong enough to be doing that yet.
Sadly.
Shine a light. Yeah. Spell resistance is a blooming no.
And then when they finally get through the spell resistance, they just break through the rock and see walls of force.
Again, thankfully you're not strong enough to do that yet. Okay. Now where was that? No, there was at least one. You could potentially create a boosted version of a wave shield effect, which would turn the, with the right combination, with the right ritual, would allow you could over time throw multiple wave shield charges into the ritual, so it would directly intercept fire effects.
Alright. Emma will alert the group that this is an option.
Another one that could be useful would be to use a stone shield ritual, which is more of a divine spell, but it is something that I think it's on both lists, but I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Let's go wave field first, just because since our walls are currently lit, it'll need that more.
Yeah, stone shield's on both.
Okay, well, with stone shield you would effectively be able to, if you were to gather enough power and enough people, so if you were to say combine the divine and arcane casters, you could effectively create an actual stone wall to replace your palisade.
Well, that was the plan in the first place. It's probably going to piss off all the people who finally have been working on it, but...
Well, you could also do it in such a way, again, it would take some extra work and probably take longer, but you could have it to be a reactionary effect, so as pieces of palisade fall, bits of stone wall spring up.
Yeah, I like that bit.
I will say, though, no matter what happens, it will be unworked stone, so there won't be that the stone wall has any struts or any or a gangway or anything like that. So you could do it in such a, you could also try and do it so it would appear in front of the palisade, so you could use the palisade as a for the gangway and then have the stone wall in front of it.
Yeah, let's put it in front of the palisade.
Only other one that you could potentially do, although this one is extreme, would be a bigger challenge. Only other one would be to try and create a mage armor effect, which would be sort of like a force bubble around the base. That one would take a lot of resources, though, I will say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, because that could be a future plan.
Yeah, that's it. That's more of a last resort. But those are sort of the defensive spells you could use.
Emma will nod and just go, I will admit I am more partial to trying to incorporate the wave shield spell just because we know that all the enemy spellcasters will mostly be using fire.
Yeah, right? Actually, yeah, that actually great. We also create as a demoralizer as well.
Mm.
Yeah, let's go. At least hopefully we'll be able to take care of the siege weapons before they get there. So yeah, let's go wave shield then. Never mind.
Well, as I was going to say, with high enough rolls for the rituals, you could potentially get both under effect, but you're giving priority to the wave shield. Fair enough.
Yep.
I will say
If
with,
we get
as I was going to say, with that,
both, that would be awesome.
you will have to, as I say, you will have to load it with charges. It will effectively be a wave shield wand, but worked into the river.
Every day there's just a line of every mage, and every mage we've trained is a slave putting charges.
Yep.
So it will take time to draw out the rituals, and we'll need craft blacksmithing checks to, if you want to make it into a permanent ground, but for it. And the other question is where you're going to set it.
Do you mind bringing us to where, like, our city is and stuff on the maps?
Oh, have I not moved you guys over?
Nope.
No.
Excuse me whilst I feel like a complete and utter numpty. Just going
Well, it's
to...
all good. I'm just trying to get a better visual.
My apologies.
No, you're good.
I'll make things easier by deleting some of my old maps that aren't going to be used. Like the Ludus maps that weren't really of much use. Hey folks, there are moments when I will continue to mess up despite my best efforts otherwise.
It happens, man. Don't worry about it.
Not actually worrying, just having a laugh at my own expense. Self-deprecating humour, I kind of live off it at the moment.
I usually enjoy a bit of Schadenfreude, or whatever it's called.
No, Schadenfreude. Or is it Schadenfreude? I can never remember whether it's supposed to be Freude or Freud. I know German
What's
is...
this room?
Ping on it. Oh, it's a well.
Never mind then.
Yes, there are always several wells on each floor because... well, the dwarves aren't silly about that sort of thing. It's sort of, can we have multiple water sources? Yes, we're going to.
Let's head up to maybe like the third floor, just because I don't want us to have that very important circle that close to the entrance. Instead of eventually get in.
Oh, so you're actually going to have it... Alright, that's going to make things a bit more challenging, but okay.
Well, at least that's what I thought Carville was getting at.
Well, the problem is that he said that we need space. So, like...
Yes, and I will say the third level is the chief area for living quarters, so that's going to be...
Yeah.
I could try the second level for you guys, give you that one, and then we could have a look there. Or have a look at level 4 as well, see whether you think there's anything there. Obviously, level 2 is the one you're most familiar with.
Yeah.
But you're better off, I will say it's better off opening it up, doing it outside rather than in. Or you could do it in the... You could try doing it in the mines, which I've not really mapped out yet, but...
Here's the thing. So, this would obviously take longer, and I understand that. But could we, like, for example, just as an example, like this room right here, right? Could we extend out, like, the walls so that they're, like, out here? And then that would give us enough space?
Okay.
Or obviously it's gonna take a while. But I'm just
hold
asking.
on. Oh, you guys are still on level 2, which was I'm going bonkers.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're thinking of extending out one of the rooms.
So like, if it's like, just say this room, right? Like,
Okay.
if we can extend the walls out to like where like the black is,
Yeah.
would that give us enough room, or no?
Potentially, if you moved all the stuff out, but which is good. But I'm just wondering why you'd want to. But I'm just wondering why you want to have it sort of inside for this sort of effect.
I think the main reason why Eris wants it inside is so that the enemy still has to get inside in order to destroy it before we lose it, kind of thing.
Alright.
I didn't really particularly want it inside. It was just I thought that's what you were getting at, Carbon.
What I was getting at?
Yeah, you wanted us to switch over to this map, or the city map.
Oh, I meant like on the outskirts, like where the lake is and stuff.
Oh, you want the valley?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know what you guys called it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this thing.
Okay, yeah. I was just thinking that this would give you a lot more operating room sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'd say perhaps let's put it somewhere up on this ridge. Out of the way, plus hopefully we'll be able to get it. It's hard enough to get to for anyone besides us.
Well, down here is the way to get into our area, right?
Yeah.
So, wouldn't it be better to have it, like, along these ridges? So that it's...
Well, oh, sorry, do you mean the way into the city? No, the city is here. Up
Well,
at the
yeah,
very...
no, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, like, in order to get into the valley, they have to come through this passage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wouldn't we want to start over here and, like, get them this way? Because if that's the only way to get in, other than, like, tunneling through the mountain.
Yeah, that could work.
I'm just saying, because, like, I don't know what the distance is on this thing, so, like, if you put it over here, is it going to reach over there?
Oh, if you create a ritual circle, you'll be able, as long as you have something to give it an affinity to the area, you'll be able to affect things within several miles distance.
Okay.
So, and, you'd probably, with the correct size of ritual circle and enough, pieces to grant an affinity to a connection to the area, you could probably affect everything within a 12-mile radius.
Okay.
And this
we have a big cleared out area that used to be a garrison.
Yeah, but I think just wasn't sure if you. I think these two were thinking more that they don't want it to be directly where the battle's most likely going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, alright. Because Emma needs water for hers, right?
Yes.
Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're not going to get a
So-
stronger source than here because you're at the source of the river.
Yeah. So, would it be best for your site to be, like, over here? Per se? Could we say that that's, like, a good area since it's already cleared out? You don't have to do really much, and then it's right next to the water source?
It would, and then we'll just be on the safe side. Emma probably will ask for help to try and camouflage it when it's done, just so if by on off chance the scout sees it, they can't destroy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's no doubt in Emma's mind once the casters realize their fire magic isn't working, they're going to try and find the source to destroy it.
Yeah. So, we'll say yours, we'll just put it there.
Alright.
And then, so who's doing, like, the earth rock thing?
Well, I was going to say,
Or
you
was that
could...
just an idea?
You
I
could...
think the goal is to try and do both in the one circle, but if we get the rolls high enough, then it will, but otherwise it'll just be the wave shield.
See, I probably wouldn't do both in one circle because, like, yes, it would be really strong and powerful, but if it was to be destroyed, like I said, we lose both effects if we put one like here and probably on the other side over here, like we can have both effects, and then if we lose one, we still have the other one to help us in the meantime.
And there's a potential third circle, because I believe Arask and Nyx wanted to have a circle, or at least wanted to try rituals to try and place effects on the forest that they're going to be travelling through to either grant benefits to their scouts or inflict issues on their enemies.
Yeah.
I'll probably prioritize buffing our scouts over hurting our enemies at this point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what does everybody want to do?
Emma actually likes that plan of having two. That way, that way there's always the backup. It's always good.
Yeah, 2 sounds good. Let's put, yeah. I'm also good with the place you suggested, Carbon.
Okay.
Oh, and just whilst we've got a quick pause, hello to our viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Right, so we've got a circle over here, or thereabouts, and you're looking for the one to be at the rock face?
Yep.
Yeah.
So as far away as possible from the route up.
Yes. Yeah, that'd probably be best. But it looks like, I mean, if you kind of scroll in pretty close, it looks like there is a path that goes through the forest. So it looks like these two will eventually connect.
Oh yeah, you can get to. You mean on this side? Because those two.
No. Right, like, so yeah, so right there you have that path, and then over there, yeah.
Yeah, those. Yeah, you can get to those two. That's not a problem. I thought you meant that you could get to it from the other side of the. You know.
Oh, like a waterfall? Heck no.
No, that would. No, that's going to be a death sentence for anyone who tries.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying is that we're more likely to probably lose this one first, but at least we'll have this one as backup.
Yeah, which will be nicely hidden and really confusing to get to.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, anyway.
That's the force where we keep all the dire beasts.
Only if you're able to tame them. That should be interesting.
Yeah. Alright, well, so what do I need to make for a check? So like blacksmithing or something, right?
For if you wanted to make those mobile staves, or were you looking to help with the ritual more?
Well, for the ritual stuff.
Oh, you can either make a knowledge engineering, or a. Because no, you've not got engineering. I'm going bonkers. You can make a knowledge religion or a spellcraft check, or both.
Can I perhaps try and use linguistics to try and help carve and help them make sure we're using really good runes and something like that?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Damn! I don't know what I'm doing.
And the dice are against us once again.
It's all good.
They're just turning on you lot because I haven't got minions on the board for them to turn sour with.
I mean, this isn't gonna get built in a day, so.
Oh no, this is a several week. This is a couple of weeks at least.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Over the rest of the session, I'll have you guys make a couple more rolls as we progress the time.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I will say, just at some point when we have a good chance to do this, I think Eris is going to do a bit of looking around this valley. He wants to check out the ruins, maybe see if he can try and get to the island and the lake. Just, if nothing else, just to explore.
Okay. Well, we did explore the ruins a few sessions back, I believe, and basically it used to be a watchtower, so you could probably build it back into one if you had the time.
Right. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Once the wall's done, I'll probably point the engineers that way.
Do you want to do a spellcraft as well, Aaron, or?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's the rituals down for now. So, right. Nashi, Kragle, I do believe you had experiments you were looking to do.
Oh yeah, and part of that experiment, I'm gonna need some of the wizards.
So you'll need to go and... So, Emma, believe those.
Emma will just go. I will ask them to help you, and if, again, I'm just here to teach. I don't really make them do anything.
The Mage's Guild is going to be very... Right.
You permission, yeah.
Oh, of course. I will just ask if you notice anyone with magical talent to at least let me offer to teach them. That is all I ask in return.
Yeah, I'll do such things.
This is going to be the most relaxed setting Mage Guild ever.
And Emma will get back to trying to make this ritual work.
Oh yeah, and do you have anybody that knows expeditious excavation?
Hold on, I need to make sure.
I'm gonna say, I think that's a second level spell.
Expeditious retreat is a first level.
Excavation is also a first level too.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Emma goes, I do not know, but I am certain I could teach anyone who would like to learn it and put in their spell book.
Because that could be very useful to modifying a bit on our area where we put the rangers, so they wouldn't be able to just run up that earth.
Emma nods and will go and ask her students if any of them want to learn a new spell.
I was going to say, they're probably all interested until you tell them what the spell is, and then it'll be more of a 50-50.
Oh, alright then. So, everybody gets a new spell!
Let's say.
Alright.
I'm going to say, find me a spellcaster that hears the word new spell for free and doesn't become instantly interested.
Alright, so all of Emma's students now have expeditious excavation. Stupid dyslexia. Expeditious excavation in their spellbooks.
I thought we were... Okay, that's not what I was expecting you to be going after, but fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I was more...
The two brightest of the group, I'll pull them aside and ask them if they're willing to help me with something, because Emma will be distracted.
Yeah. Emma will pretty much point you in the direction of her... Yeah, of... Morana, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Morana and who was the other one?
Yeah.
Who was the little half?
Yeah, because she'll just go, those are my two best. They'll probably be able to do something very fun.
Yeah, Morana and Galland.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going to get the the person who used to be the blacksmith leader.
Vondel? Okay.
And they're gonna all help me with that experiment that I'm doing.
Okay, I will need a blacksmithing check and a spellcraft check from you, Karagel. Oh boy. Well, that's an impressive roll. Still an impressive roll.
Yeah, with a +2 and 18 is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The 33 is mildly terrifying. Okay, I'm not going to advance time fully, but you'll be able to get the project done in probably about... You'll be able to get viable results in about 2 weeks. At least for the base material.
Cool. I'm good with that.
And no cases of anemia. Okay, so we'll get back to that when we advance it the next couple of weeks.
I'll also tell them, do not spread this knowledge out if this works.
Well, it'd be kind of difficult considering there'd be a rather key component missing for most attempts.
Yes, and that's the reason why I don't want them to come in for materials,
Yeah.
any of us.
Fair point. Fair point. Okay, so... Right. Aaron, I believe you had some recruiting you want to do, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could do me some knowledge religion checks, and I don't know if you've got any if you've got any ranks in perform or anything like that. If you want to put in maybe
0 perform.
yeah, right. We'll skip the perform then. We'll skip the actual performing the sermons and just go with the general preaching to try and get people interested.
Gotcha. Alright. So, how many religious checks you want?
Give me 2 checks on knowledge religion.
Okay.
One distinctly better than the other, but yeah, you're probably able to get. With that, I'd say yeah, you're able to get to another 10. You're able to get 10 people who've sort of become invested enough in the philosophy as you begin to explain it that they could draw power.
Copy that.
So it's up to you, and we'll say it's split half and half, or would you prefer them to be focus, or would you be focusing more on repose or healing when it comes to that?
I mean, since it's such a small group right now, I might as well do half and half.
Fair enough. Because for now it's just going to be, obviously with it only being a philosophy thing, it's more of a single domain thing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to step away from the computer for a couple of minutes. Sorry about this, folks. We're just going to take a quick break.
Yep. No problem, Chris. How's it going, viewers?
See half pint in there.
At least always around. Just for once, it's not around to bug me.
Huzzah for that. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder where Jazzy's at.
And quick thing, guys, my roommates in the room right next to mine are going to start building a desk. It shouldn't make any noise, but if you hear any banging or anything, it's them making it.
I feel like your dog will make more noise than they will.
Probably.
Only if she sees them. Because for some reason, my one friend, she is terrified of him. And when I mean terrified, I mean if she can't get away from him fast enough, she will literally defecate.
Hmm.
Yeah, the guy literally scares the shit out of her.
Interesting.
My dog's a giant wimp, but I love her. Yes, girl, I'm talking about you. And don't deny you are a giant wimp. Oh, Verbatten, when are we gonna get some more bards? I'm surprised you haven't trained anyone as bards yet.
Oh, I don't seem to need me. Why would we need more bards? Wait, what?
I know, I just noticed that we're getting all this training, but we're not getting more bards. I find that interesting.
And on comes the awkward silence.
Oh, I'm reading.
True, though, we gotta try and keep these people entertained somehow.
They ever fix that, the Kingmaker like save stuff?
I think Chris is the only one playing it if he's not here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I can't remember how many people are playing the other games.
What other games?
Because I'm pretty certain, doesn't this Twitch channel also have other games and stuff that we do?
Oh, yeah, Chris plays other stuff, yeah.
All he did, but his computer couldn't run Dragon Quest, and Kingmaker's just being too much of a pain for him to try and stream.
Yeah.
That is a deep, deep shame.
Definitely needs to, upgrade to that PC life.
True, well, we've been over it.
Right.
So besides my exhaustion, how's everybody else doing? Are there any interesting projects you would like to share with the people at home?
Not really.
Yeah, I like everyone here, but I seriously think at least among my parties, I think we've got at least stream-worthy people here.
Huh?
And I was just saying, it's just this is generally my quietest gaming group.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like everyone, all my other groups can be much louder. It's generally better, and it's generally better for live streaming.
Yeah, I just think there's not much going on right now, so it's like, I guess we could be planning for what we all want to do, but
yeah, but
that's one of those things.
Yeah, but I don't just mean right now, but I just mean in general.
Yeah.
Even not times like this.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I think the reason Chris is taking so long is just because he's getting back at us for skipping the camp.
Could be.
It's not our fault we went to play smart. Why go through the hassle of killing a whole camp when we can just get in and get out? Although I will admit, the bird acting should not have worked. At all.
I mean...
Folks, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, don't normally have to take a... Well, I had to step away for a second. Well, for a few minutes, sorry about that. Anyway, so where were we? Ah, yes. Philosophical recruiting of clerics had just been completed.
Yep.
I'll take a couple of weeks to train up. I'm just trying to think if anyone else had any plans they wanted to put into action.
In the immediate time, I'd probably be I'm probably exploring the island, like I said, and then later on, I'm going to be heading off to try and eventually try setting up traps areas, the little places we can ambush the coming army.
Well, you'll need to build a boat first.
Yeah.
Was Forgotten able to find any more reagents for the blasting gel?
Knew I was forgetting something, and I'll need you to do a search. I'll need you to do a. Do you have survival trained?
Sure.
Alright, well, if you can make me a survival or a knowledge local check, or a knowledge or a craft alchemy if you've got that. Okay.
22 survival, 20 craft alchemy.
Yeah, you're able to find most of the components, and the components that you couldn't find in the wild, you can probably render out, because one of the chief incendiary components is animal fat, and you can basically get that off some of the rations when they're being cooked.
Alright.
So you can probably get it up to about half of your base stock from being a third. So you've got a good chunk. Okay, so you. Oh, and.
So he's going to take about half of that to do what he's wanting to start messing around with.
Okay, I can't remember what you said you were going to be messing around with. You want to do another search in a few weeks to try and make some more of those exploding arrows you can do. And Kragel, for Zorgon's stats, most likely he'd favour a finesse weapon of some variety.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why I'm giving a blueprint.
Okay, so what sort of weapon are you thinking? Are you thinking rapier, dueling sword?
No. Blueprint is for a unique weapon for him.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about the custom. So we'll after the game. We'll either at some point during the week we'll discuss, how you want to do that with the custom building rules from Adventurer's Armory 2. And now I'm gonna have to try and find art for this custom weapon, aren't I? This is going to be fun.
And it's going to be a martial weapon, so a lot of the fighters can pick it up if they want.
Well, probably not all of them, because I'm guessing most of the fighters aren't going to be finesse builds.
Yeah.
Probably not, but if anybody is a finesse build fighter, I'll just give them one of these.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, well, we'll discuss that, as I say, either after the game or at some point during the week.
Okay.
Over the exact details, because I'm fine with you building a custom weapon, but I'm going to set some restraints because you can get some busted weapons in with those rules.
Okay. I already got it statted out.
Okay, well,
But
all right. Didn't realise. Well, we can talk it over afterwards.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got it statted out, so it'll be quick.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll need a craft engineering and potentially. Yeah, we'll go with a craft engineering check for you trying to build your boat, Arask. And that won't be a quick thing either to say.
And there's going to be some downtime, and it doesn't really improve, and that roll didn't really help either.
I'd say it'd probably take about 3 weeks to get the boat built.
Great.
If you recruit some others who help in their off time, you can maybe bring it down to about 2.
Is it possible to? Because obviously unless he's gonna use wooden stakes to hold the boat together. Can I do a blacksmithing to help get materials together for him for nails and stuff?
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, between that and I'm guessing you will get some help at some point, ARs, because you are not quite the face of the party, but getting there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm guessing we can probably take it down to about 2 weeks.
Well, anything better than that.
Okay, so I'd say we're about ready for our first progression then, unless anyone else has anything they want to do immediately.
Emma is going to have Quoth just do a quick flyby to try and get as much detail about the surrounding area as possible for when they start doing the maps.
Okay.
Next, we'll want to train a few more people
Okay.
into different class, or, well, what do you call them? Class archetypes.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, medkits. Can I start having my guys create medkits?
Yeah, you can have them start creating healing kits and all that, that's not a problem.
Alright, perfect.
What did you need? Nature and survival?
Yeah, nature. Yeah, knowledge nature would be more for hunters, and survival would be more for rangers. Okay, we'll say. Yeah, I'd say you've got 5 new hunters and 10 new rangers. And they can be whatever archetype you're looking for the most part. Just if you have any in particular, just let me know and I'll double check them to make sure they're still okay. Just nothing that uses guns,
Okay.
obviously.
You said 10 hunters and 5 rangers?
All the way around.
10 rangers, 5 hunters, okay.
Yeah. Okay, and yep, Quoth will be able to give you a decent layout for the map for a good few miles. Probably is. You could probably, with a 25, you could probably get the full area that would be able to be affected by the circle.
Sweet. Emma will share this information with Arn as well for her.
Okay, yeah.
Now we need somebody with. Well, probably. You'd probably need to talk to either Verbatin or Nix about drawing up the maps. Because technically it should be a craft cartography, but I'm going to allow it with either. If Verbatin has the artistry background skill, I'm going to fine with that, or using survival to draw it as well.
Oh yeah, just remember, I've passed off recruiting to the drill sergeants.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, if you still want to make a roll for yourself, and then we'll see how many you get.
I'll probably do this same with Yasha.
Okay.
What do I need?
Just roll a... I think what would be the appropriate roll for it. Just roll craft engineering, that was it. Not craft engineering, knowledge engineering. Ugh. My tongue is tying itself in knots and I've not had a drink. And I've not had a drink today. Or ever for that matter, but that's beside the point.
Now I want to take that craft dungeons.
That would be a weird day, but... Alright. You've probably got about another 8 fighters. Guessing that'll be, for the most part, going into more of the phalanx fighters, was it? Or whatever your main force were. And Aris, would you be training more Slayers or more Rogues?
Rogues, I'm generally going to be favoring rogues.
Okay, so if you could roll me a stealth check then.
Come on!
Ouch. What was that, a 2?
Yes.
Yeah, the dice really are not liking you tonight, are they? So that'd be another 7 rogues of some variety. Everything alright, Nix?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the archetypes real quick and
Okay.
making decisions.
No problem. Okay, I'd say we're probably ready to progress the next 2 weeks then and see where we get from there.
Yeah, I'll say my rogue sergeant craftsmith.
That should worry me, I'm almost certain. Right. So we'll advance 2 weeks, so you've got the boat's ready, good, and probably got a good chunk of the ritual circles done.
Okay.
Main thing would okay, right, so deep walkers, divine marksmen, right. So just to ask, which of those are? Oh, those are the rangers. Never mind, I missed that bit. Blind as a bat, and daft as anything. Huh. Must have missed the wilderness medic when it came out.
It only came out really recently.
You guys heard about what's come out with the most recent Plane Hopper's Handbook thing?
No.
No.
Bunch of what was it? A bunch of new bloodlines. Well, not bloodlines, but a bunch of subcategories for the 4 Geniekin races.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay, why can I not find Divine Marksman?
Found it.
Yeah, I was looking for it on Archive and Esses, but couldn't find it for some reason.
Yeah, it's on the, what's it, D20?
Yeah, I just find it weird that it's not on the official, what is now the official Pathfinder reference document.
I can change it if I need to.
No, it's fine. I found it now. Just had to do a search for it. But yeah, that should all be fine.
So it actually kind of works with that Divine Marksman too, because once I get to choose my favorite weapon, they're going to be having the long swords anyways.
Oh, that's going to be fun. And the Woodland Skirmisher, another one that's just on D20 for some reason. And I'm guessing that the Woodland Skirmishers are all going to be focusing on humanoid goblinoid.
I'm sorry, what now?
I'm guessing the focused enemy for the Woodland Skirmishers is always going to be focused on goblins.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna...
Until we come across something new.
Yeah. Okay, so advance it. So we've got. So for the next bit, if you're looking to make the circles permanent, I'll need some blacksmithing checks.
Yeah, Emma's gonna go to help for this just because she isn't good at blacksmithing.
Well, rather difficult when you were a miner.
Do you need another one, or?
Yeah, one more, please. Okay, yeah, there's. Well, with between the two of them, yeah, you should be able to get these circles up and working. It'll take about a week for them to be prepared just because of the sheer amount of metal you're having to melt down and pour into the various spots of the circles.
Okay.
And then of course you'll have to set the... And Emma, if you could make me a spellcraft check. Have I given you guys a loot folder or am I going bonkers? No, I have, cool. Emma, you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Doze off for a bit?
No, I thought you were calling for someone else. It
Ah.
broke up a little on my end.
Okay, fair enough, sorry.
Okay, spellcraft.
Yeah. Okay, with 16 you've got a fairly good idea of what gems would best suit for putting at the centre of each of the circles. If you,
Alright.
you've got 4 different choices. Diamonds are best universally speaking, so they should bolster the caster level of the effect, but in general, but it's only a caster level increase of 1. There's a topaz which improves conjuration effects, or there's a sapphire and an emerald which each respectively improve water and earth-based effects. Those are the ones you think are probably the best options.
Alright, Emma's probably going to use the sapphire for hers because she really wants the water effect to be very strong.
Okay.
And she'll tell the options to Erin and ask what she would prefer for her circle.
So yours is obviously the water, so I guess mine's over here.
Yeah.
What were the things again? It was like bolster conjuration, right? As well.
Yeah, that would be the.
Then yeah, that'd be mine.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah. So they will work for any other spells, it's just that in Emma's circle, water spells, any spell with the water descriptor will get bolstered by 2 levels, and in the case of Aaron's circle, anything that gets boosted by that's of the conjuration school will get boosted by 2 levels.
Alright.
Okay.
How close are we to starting on attempting to empower our circles?
Once the next week's pass, you'll be able to begin the rituals. But I was just going to check with other people before we did that step ahead and
Okay.
find out what's going on.
At this point, I just look at the others, maybe check with some of the named NPCs and people, general, I'm just seeing, hey, I'm going to check out this island. Do anyone else want to join me?
Yasha will probably join you if no one else will, but you can do a whip round and get a few people with you, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty busy with everything else.
Yeah, but some people may want to jump in. You never know.
No, I agree.
I am busy as well. However, I'll have Quoth go with you. Maybe something interesting you'll find.
By all means.
What are we all doing?
I'm taking a boat out. I'm gonna take a look at the islands in the lake. I'm checking with Varbarch and Grognal as well.
Okay, so okay, Verbatim, if you want to give me a craft alchemy check before we send Aroskoff to the island. Okay, yeah, between those two you should be alright to craft them. How much were you looking to craft?
What's that?
How much were you looking to craft of it?
Probably about 8 feet or so.
Yeah, that should be enough then. Just wanted to ask also if you want to do any more on those. If you want to do another survival and craft alchemy check, then you can try and get some more supplies during that time. Or do you want to try making some more of those? Yeah, okay. You've now got. Okay, you've just gone back up to 3/4 of your original supply, thanks to the amount of stuff you've found.
Alright.
Oh yeah, Emma, are you able to search for bloodlines?
Chris, can Emma do that?
With a detect magic and a spellcraft check, yes.
Okay. Emma will go. If they produce any magical effect that I can find through detect magic, I can possibly. There's no guarantee, but there is a chance.
Okay, what are we looking for here? Verbatim.
What's that?
What are you looking for here?
He's gonna start streamlining his production, so he can make the the explosive tipped bolts and arrows quicker.
And what does that have to do with looking for bloodlines?
Oh no, that was me.
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely no idea.
Sorry.
No, but I was seeing if you can look for anybody with any draconic power in their bloodline.
Why does that
All
worry
right,
me?
But I'll probably ask more for permission, because that can be a little invasive.
Why does this make me very worried? Ah, that's why. Now I get it more.
But if you have anyone who'd be willing to volunteer for me to check, I'll check.
yeah, I'll check with the fighters, see if they have anybody who's willing to check.
Okay, so what exactly are you telling them?
I'll tell them we're going to be looking for the magic inside of their blood and see if we can't basically utilize both martial and magic together.
Okay, do you have diplomacy or anything like that?
Let me see.
Fair enough.
I can intimidate them into doing it.
That's probably not the way to do it, man.
I mean, you could do a sort of a commanding officer thing, which I think would technically be, well, I don't think it would be intimidation, but you could do it as sort of a pseudo drill sergeant routine of, you know, equivalent to a mandatory health check or whatever.
Yeah, I'll do like that. Be like, hey, we need to do this shit. You're gonna do it. Come on, let's go.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Okay. Well, frog marching has never been done so quickly.
You see all of the fighters there. All of them.
And Emma
Yeah.
just kind of blinks and goes,
Oh, small thing. Are
"Okay,
you
I wasn't expecting all of them."
okay? Kragel, one of
Emma
the
will point out the person who she noticed had the ability to be trained to a magus, and she'll share that with them and go, well, that person can be a magus, and they are very, very powerful fighters and spellcasters, but alright, let's check everyone else. 20 spellcraft.
Okay. Well, the person with the innate magical talent doesn't. Well, there is someone else with an innate magical talent who you wouldn't have noticed before, but it's only this one that sort of picks up for the bloodline and all that. Yeah, funnily enough, it's Dorian from the Gladiators.
Huh. Is it the Draconic bloodline?
Yeah, it's yes, he's got a draconic bloodline. If you could give me another spellcraft, you can try and identify which one from the aura.
Alright, let's go for it. 17.
Yeah, that should be enough. Yes, golden dragon bloodline.
Oh.
Very, very weak, but it's there.
Okay, she'll kind of go up to him and go, yeah. Somewhere in your ancestry, there's a gold dragon. It's very, very faint, but you can tap into it if you want to.
Dorian looks confused and mildly disturbed at this news. So you're telling me I'm part lizard?
No, you're not part lizard, because dragons can turn into a humanoid form. It just means you're able to use fire.
Alright then. Confusing, but alright then.
And if you really, really focus on it, you'll be able to produce some more interesting things.
Right. I will say that come next session, because there will be a few more standouts for you guys to make use of from your new bouts of training. Just haven't popped them up into the lists yet. So, those out of the way, and obviously with Verbatin's new bomb arrows. Are you going to be making some are you going to be following through on Nix's request for some arrows as well as crossbow bolts, or just sticking to crossbow bolts for now?
Yeah, I said arrows and bolts.
Okay, sorry. Deaf as well as daft. So, arrows.
I'm also working on increasing the power of the containments.
Oh, so you're looking to upgrade the damage as well?
Correct.
Okay. Let me just scroll back up to see your craft alchemy checks. If you could give me another one to trying to upgrade them, if possible.
And there goes half the base.
Yeah, that should be enough. So instead of doing... So I believe they did a D4 before, didn't they? Fire damage?
D6.
Oh, D6. Right. Yeah, they can probably be upgraded to a D8 with that roll.
Alright.
2d8 of damage on arrows. Nasty. Right. We'll do a crap, but we'll... Okay, so I believe it was Arusk, Kragel, and who else was going to the island? Was there any other named characters who were going, or any other players that were going, or...
Quoth will be going.
Okay. Oh, I might have got something.
I'm good.
Verboten will make a delivery of at least 20 arrows to Nyx.
Nyx, you now have arrows that do 2d8 of damage. 1d8 of it is multiplied on the crit, and also anyone who is hit by it on a critical hit is knocked prone.
Okay, so 2d8 normal damage, an additional 1d8.
No, it's a d8 of damage and a d8 of fire damage, so only the base d8 is multiplied on crits. Sorry, I should have explained that better.
So basically just a normal arrow that does an additional d8 of fire damage, and on a critical hit will knock a person prone.
Okay.
Sorry, apparently my brain is not functioning so well tonight. Well, I will say, Kragel, we don't have any sorcerers at the moment.
Damn.
We can't have everything, guys.
At least help from Emma or something. I don't know. Someone who could do magic.
Okay.
Because they don't get any spells. They're just like arcane strike everything as a fighter.
Okay, so yeah, you'll have to probably study with Emma on some of his off time to figure out how to tap into arcane strike. So you were going to the island, weren't you, Kragel? Or am I going mad or am I mixing things up again?
I'll go to the island.
Okay.
Alright, then Eris is just loading out the bow. He's got some food and water. Since he don't know how long it may take them to look it over, plus alongside Yasha and Cliff. Cardinal.
Okay. And no problem, Nix, I figured you'd be testing it.
Oh, I'm amazed I could get you to... I'm amazed I could get you away from those arrows, my little friend.
Yeah, I need a break.
Good to have you then.
Okay, it'll take you probably about 3/4 of an hour rowing to get to the island.
Alright, we'll just head out early then.
Okay. Eventually you do come to what appears to just be a hilly island covered in thick and long grass. It comes up to about it comes up to about Kragel's chin.
So I can't see over it, gotcha.
No, you can see over it.
Verboten?
Oh, well, I thought Verbatim wasn't coming along, sorry.
Chin.
Yeah. Yeah, fair point, sorry. I thought you weren't coming along, Verbatim. That's why I was getting confused. But yeah, you're going to have some problems.
Well, whose shoulders do you want to run on, Verboten?
Oh, I'm good.
If you say so.
Just means I'm hidden.
It's just a bunch of grass, right? I start cutting the grass as I'm walking.
Fair enough. Do you want, if each of you could give me perception checks?
Wolf will give a perception check as well.
Okay. It's all right, Nix. They're just exploring the island. Okay. Oh, Nix, were you going to the island as well? Nix, you there?
Sorry, what was that?
I was asking if you were exploring if you'd gone to the island with them or.
Yeah, I'll just explore with them.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in this case, all of you would notice one of the hills, it looks a bit odd. It appears to be more moss than grass. And Verbatim, Kragel and Quoth will notice that in one particular spot it almost looks like there's some sort of like a door carved into the hill.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is. I'm gonna go approach there, see if I can try and figure out a way to get this open.
Okay, I'll need another perception check from you, Arisk.
Why don't we a decent roll?
I'd say a 22 is fairly decent.
Yeah, I'm not saying otherwise.
I thought you... Oh, I misheard you. I thought you said, why won't you give me a decent roll?
I said, finally a decent roll.
Once again, I will reiterate, I am deaf as well as daft.
And at least you're not stupid.
Right, so... yes, you do... It takes you about a quarter of an hour, but you do eventually spot what appears to be a keyhole of some variety. It's not a traditional keyhole, but it looks sort of similar shape.
Well, unless you all want to go coming through the glass for a week, I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to take 20.
Okay. So what would that be your end score being?
32.
Okay. You are able to get it open, although it does take you about 3 hours.
This is why I brought food.
Yeah. I say, you've got the joy of a lock that's got a dozen tumblers.
While it's going on, I'm going to be cutting grass.
Fair enough.
Verboten just keeps an eye out.
So eventually the door the stone door will swing inwards.
God, that was worse than getting my hair. One of the time my hair got caught in the machine gears.
Oof. Ouch.
Harris just grabs his ponytail protectively.
Yeah.
That explains the ponytail.
I see. As someone who's got long hair and has had it actually catching the hinges of doors before now, yeah, not fun.
You even see Eris's beard is also in a small ponytail. It goes down to about a sternum.
Yes. Yes, in this case, the orc has more impressive hair and a more impressive beard than the dwarf. So when the stone door opens, you see a narrow corridor lit with familiar glowing runes.
Yeah, more dwarven runes.
Yeah. The runes, however, are dimmer than usual, so you're thinking these might either be older or just that they've not been or that they've just been weathered more.
And these are runes that they're not like making words out, they're runes that are providing like spell effects or something.
They are the dwarven rune for light, and they've been enchanted with a light spell. Same as what's given illumination throughout the main dwarven complex.
Gotcha.
Just less maintained.
Yeah. Well, that and they're in a building that's not got several hundred feet of rock blocking from plants digging into the mortar.
Fair point. Garrus is gonna start keeping an eye out for any traps, and he's gonna start making his way down the hallway.
Okay.
Robot's gonna stay about 20 feet behind him.
Alright.
Give him room to do his thing.
I'd have said if you didn't.
Right. You're able to travel about 100 feet before you come to a split in the path, which heads off either north or south as you come in.
Let's try south first, because I think this might lead back to the temple. Might lead back to our stronghold.
Well, that would be north you'd be looking for then, rather than south. Or would it?
Yeah. I misspoke then. Yeah, let's try south first.
Yeah. Okay. So you're heading south. Or, sorry, do you want to head to the one you think would lead back to the stronghold, or do you want to just head south, just to check?
I want to check the southern tunnel since I think the northern tunnel might give us an easier trip back.
Okay, fair enough. So, as you go down the southern tunnel's about 100 feet long. And as you travel along it, you'll pass one door on the left, one door on the right, and one door straight ahead, all made of metal.
I'm gonna check them, see if any of them are locked.
Okay. That'd be
locked? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna, the one at the very end of the corridor is locked, but the other two, and the one on the left would be locked as well. The one on the right, it isn't.
Alright, I'm gonna try the right door first.
Okay. The door on the right opens up into what appears to have at one point been a bunk room or a barracks. There are several mostly rotted away wooden bunk beds throughout the room.
So I'll go in and give it a quick once over.
Okay. You do find the only thing you find is what appears to have at one. Well, you do find several foot. You do find what looks to have at one point been a footlocker, but again, it's decayed away, and there isn't. And it opens up easy enough, and there's not much inside apart from a completely ruined journal.
Yeah, too bad then.
Yeah. Looks like there might have been spare changes of clothes and potentially bedding in there, but as far as you can tell, from the scraps of fabric, most likely moths or something else got to it.
Yeah. I'll take it for the hell of it. I'm probably not gonna. I'll probably just throw it. Yeah. I'll take it for the hell of it.
Okay.
Anything else in the room?
No, that's it.
Alright, I'll head out and I'll check the left door.
Okay. The left door is locked, so you're going to be making a disable device check for me.
$20.
Yeah, you're able to get it open. Inside are a large number of pipes, which are all rusted to one degree or another, and a couple of what appear to be a couple of metal chests, again fairly rusty.
Do you say there was pipes in here?
Yes.
Like smoking pipes or just pipes?
As in, from what you can tell, more water pipes.
Verboten looks at the pipe, and an idea springs into his head, and he'll keep that for later.
Chris just steps away from Verboten and goes to check the chest.
Okay. So the chests open up easily enough, and inside you find various tools. They're basically toolboxes, and as you get close to them you notice a couple of clasps that would snap over the top to form a handle that have rusted off.
Well, I can bring the tools back that may be useful to us if we can get them cleaned up.
Any of them look strangely pristine or anything like that?
There's a few that are in better shape than others. So there are probably at least a couple of masterwork ones, but not many.
Well, I was more like saying, because I don't think we have someone that can detect magic with us, do we?
Yep.
We have the bard.
Oh yeah. Can you detect magic on this shit?
And he will see if there's anything magic.
No, there are no magical items in the toolbox.
Nope. Although if you find anything that you think might be useful, I can cast mending on it, maybe rebuild it.
We have the technology.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do something, at least on the trip back. Alright. And I'll head up and do the last door.
Okay. One more disable device check then. First attempt, you're not able to get the door open.
I'll try and take 10 then.
Okay, which would end up at
22.
that. You're able to get it open. It does take you about probably about quarter of an hour.
Finally. I hope this is worth it.
Okay. When you open the door, you come into a room that's about 20 feet tall and about 40 feet wide. Rather than having but only 3 walls, because what would be the southernmost wall that you would be facing instead gives you a direct look over the waterfall, a direct look into a bay that looks onto the waterfall. In the room...
This room must be important because dwarves aren't that tall.
Well, part of the reason is it's effectively a as I was going to say, the room is divided into 2 floors, from each of which is fenced off with a barrier, but with a set of 2 sets of stairs at the furthest end of each room. And in the middle of each of the respective floors are a set of 2 probably 4-foot tall towers with large wheels set atop them. Not wheels, valves, sorry. For some reason my mind was blanking on the appropriate term. Odd, since I've got Steam downloaded. What's popped up now?
I'm gonna head over, try turning them, see what they might end up doing.
Okay, are you going to try and turn the ones on the upper floor or lower floor?
Let's try lower floor first.
Okay. I will need a strength check from you, Vabat, Arusk.
Yeah, or maybe it'll help with this.
Oh yeah, I'll help.
Okay, you both on the same valve or on separate valves? Same valve. Got it.
Same valve.
You're able to budge the valve about a quarter turn.
Once we see something happening, I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay. Do you want to give me a quick perception check?
Yeah, sure.
Robot's inspecting his leases.
Okay. Between Arusk and Kragel, you do notice something. Well, you do notice several things. First of all, the valves both seem to be quite rusty. So most likely if you were to be able to find an oil can or something, you could potentially get them to move a bit easier.
Hey, can you cast money on this?
Yeah.
And while he's mending it, I'm gonna look around for some oil cans.
Just roll me a quick d20 and add your intelligence modifier.
Ooh.
Sorry, Kragel, sorry. Having one of those days. Okay, you think you remember seeing a couple in the with the toolkits.
Okay, I hop over to the toolkits, grab some oil,
Yeah.
and come back in.
Okay. The other thing you will have noticed when you were examining the valves, by the way, is it looks like they both have matching symbols, so it looks like they have to be that each pair has to be turned together in order for them to work properly.
Alright, then I guess Karag, once Robotom's done, and they're done oiling it, I'll say, Karag, go ahead, get up the upper stair valve.
No, it's it's sets of 2 valves on each floor, so each floor's valves need to be turned together.
Okay, and there were multiples on each floor.
Sorry, I thought I'd made that clear. My apologies. Yeah, it's a pair on each floor.
Okay, yeah, then we'll just do those. I guess Karag on one, then Robotom and me on the other once they're done.
Okay, you won't need any strength checks, but you're able to get. But it will take you a little while. So you're doing the one on the bottom floor first.
Is there anything like, what does the symbol look like on the bottom floor one?
Oh. Of course you. I forgot you were. Right, we've got a dwarf, so there would be. If you could you just give me another quick perception check, Kraggle?
Yep, 1 second.
No problem. Still good enough to spot it. As you're coming up to as you're looking around, you do notice what appears to be some writing that's under a layer of slime on the one of the walls, sort of under a layer of algae or moss that's growing on the inside of the walls, thanks to being open to the air. So if you knock that off, you could probably get a better idea.
Yeah, I'll wipe off the slime.
Okay. Written there is barrier is lake barrier main controls.
You broke up quite a bit, Chris.
Oh, sorry. The sign says lake barrier main controls.
I look back at the group and I'm like, hey, lake barrier main control. I wonder what this does.
Hopefully something good.
Okay, so
Let's find out.
They start turning the valves and he's like, you have released the Kraken. Shit.
No, I would not be that cruel. If it was a one shot, maybe.
Dwarves to the front.
As you twist the valves, it does take a while. You are doing it for a good while, but after about the first 10 minutes, you begin to notice a slight disturbance at the point of the waterfall. And as you continue turning, what appears to be a metal wall rises out and blocks the waterfall.
I looked at the group and I'm like, well, us dwarves are known for our walls.
I think we damned that river for. We could have just done this.
Yeah, but it would have been harder to signal people.
True.
And
good.
once the valves lock in place, there's also something that you hear a creaking from a point in between the valves. It looks like and you notice that there's slight buckling at a point in the floor. It looks like there's something trying to rise out of the ground, but it's jammed because of rust.
I'll go to where the area is. It's rumbling and kind of like oil it up if I can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. After you've oiled it up, a piece of the floor rises out, and a lever emerges with the words "Emergency Dam Release."
Let's not pull this for now. Yeah, let's save that. Let's save that for another time. I'll start working my way to undam the river.
Basically, you just have to twist the valves in the opposite direction.
Yep. People in the town must be so confused. Like, why'd the river stop?
Yeah, just a bit. It'll be sort of... Alright then, that was weird.
While we're turning this, can you bend the lever and stuff?
Sure.
For half an hour out of the day, for no apparent reason, the river just stops flowing.
Behold our divine power.
So if that's what the downstairs one does, I wonder what the upstairs one does.
Yeah, we're going to be on this for half an hour. Mending takes 10 minutes, right?
I think so.
Well, it's about 15 minutes for each way, but was what I was meaning. So yeah, you'd be able to get the mending on the lever done. That's no problem.
But I'm saying before we get done rolling in the wall,
Yeah.
if you'd start mending the top portion.
Yeah.
You're able to, when you head up, you're able to find a another spot that you're able to easily spot another set of labels similar to the last one, which is basically river barrier. And if you could just give me another quick perception check for the group, if everyone in the group could give me a quick perception check again, or those on the island anyway. Yeah, Aris and Nix are able to find a piece that's fallen into sort of a crack in the floor, but you're able to extract it. It's a metal plate, which basically has a layout of where the two barriers are supposed to pop up. You have the first one, which is meant to pop up here, and the second one, which is designed to pop up here.
Where was the first one?
Just the one in front of the waterfall. You know, just sort of there. Yeah. So you can effectively block off the river to try and dry out the lake if necessary, or close off the waterfall if you want to cause some real chaos down in the valley.
Maybe if we're under siege.
Although that would cause some issues for you keeping your drawbridge. At least if you've got it open anyway.
So if we close off both of these for about a week, and then just let them rip, what will happen?
Well,
we changed the face of the surrounding area, that's for sure.
yeah, rampant chaos. Although, admittedly, it would be more difficult depending on what happened during that week, about whether it might be slightly more difficult to get to the island. Depending on how much the water level dropped in the lake.
I understand that this one probably has an emergency switch like the last one.
Yeah, it will.
So if we build it up for a week, and then just go boom, emergency switch both at the same time. Just...
For one thing, you might end up breaking the two dams. But you would almost certainly do severe damage to the camp, if nothing else.
If we ever get taken over, this is where we should go.
Yeah, I've been having drought plans for emergency for fallbacks, and this will help a lot.
Well, if nothing else, it means you can effectively deprive your enemy of fresh water supplies whilst they're trying to siege you.
True.
And then afterwards, drown them in fresh water supplies.
Good. We're making sure that everyone knows about this once we get back. Let's head back and just try the north tunnel, see what goes on that way.
Okay.
Not everyone. Just our party.
Okay.
And this coming from the guy who put a high goblin in power.
The High God was just in charge of his own group, basically.
Which I still don't agree with.
But okay. Right. Oh, by the way, there would be another door on the opposite side of the valve room that would be sort of like an equivalent to that. Sort of makes you tell you there's probably a similar set of tunnels on the opposite side of the building. I'm guessing you want to clear this side first.
Yeah, let's just get that done.
Okay. As you head up the other way, there's another door. There's another door on the right, and then you'll come to a curve in the tunnel, which will head off to the left.
Right, door on the right first.
Okay. Again, not locked. This would be another, what appears to be a remnant of another bunk room.
Another click over that.
Okay.
Robot will also scan it for magic.
Okay, there is no magic items, and the main things are again just sort of, you know, remnants of a few foot lockers that haven't got anything of value in, and the remnants of some busted down bunk beds.
Yeah, both just flying around trying to see if there's anything that they won't be that they can't find or see because it's too small.
Fair enough. Nope, nothing else of interest.
Moving on.
Okay. The corridor that emerges from around the corner connects up with what you're guessing is the tunnel leading from the other door, and also has a steel door on the right hand side, so it would be the door that would lead to the north, as from where you originally entered the building.
The steel door. You mean the steel door? It just leads back to where we came, or?
No.
Just makes a loop.
Well, no. You found the rest of the loop, is what I was meaning, and well, you have found a loop, yes, but the door you found would actually lead off in the would be facing towards, you know, would be facing. Say you came in through here, it would be facing here. So it would be. Sorry, I'll just draw lines, that way it'll probably make a bit more sense. So you would have come in this way, and the room would be heading up this way. So if there is a tunnel leading back to base, it would most likely be through that door.
Gotcha.
can't see any of the marks, but I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, there they are. Yeah, let's try this door and see where this will pop us out in the base.
Okay. Okay, you open the door, and you come into, from what looks to be the slightly decayed remains of an office. There is another door at the back of it, but the main feature of the room, along with a few collapsed shelving units, is a large desk and the remnants of what was probably a very plush chair.
Let's just limit to the fact that you can get this chair.
Yes, it looks like it. Well, it's proportioned for a dwarf, but it would have been a very comfortable chair by the look of it, if it were not, you know, a couple of millennia old and collapsed under its own weight.
Oh, they're still medium sized. If Eris could try.
It's not that you wouldn't be able to sit in it, it's just you'd have to have your legs stretched out in front of you rather than anything else. It's designed to be lower to the ground.
No back support.
Fair enough. And I'll start taking a look at the desk.
Okay. Okay, right. You do find there are several drawers in the desk, most of which are filled with nothing but, you know, mouldy paperwork. What would have been paperwork, but has, you know, since moulded into virtually nothing. But there is one that contains, while slightly rusty, a ring of keys.
Oh hey, we found the keys to all the doors you spent tens of minutes on.
And actually, as I was going to say, you also notice with yours, Aros, that there is one particular key that looks like it might fit into a oddly shaped, that almost looks like it might fit into an oddly shaped nick on part of the desk.
Interesting. I'll try putting it in there.
It fits.
Said every bard ever.
Oh dear. Thankfully, Verbatim has not begun to indulge that aspect of being the god of bards yet. I say yet because give it time.
I still don't get it.
So are you going to open it up?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Outroll 2 items, both of which to Verbatim's eyes will detect as magic. The first is a ring, and the second is a scroll.
Well, Emma's getting that. He's probably getting this. Looking at, Eris says that, looking at the scroll.
Verbatim will put out his hand and ask for it.
I'll hand both the ring and the scroll over.
He'll cast Breathe Magic and check out the scroll.
Okay. It's a surprisingly potent scroll. It's a scroll of teleport.
Ooh, nice.
Oh. I am now terrified of giving Emma this.
What's the ring? Sorry, my dog was pawing at me.
We haven't found out yet.
No, wait.
Yeah, you found a scroll of teleport.
And then you will study the ring for a bit and make a spellcraft check.
Okay. Just be a second.
He will re-roll that.
You know what? You're the best bard I know.
Just be a second. Just got to double check
You still
my
not know what it
notes.
is.
Yeah, just let me double check what you rolled, but I just have to double check my notes. But yes, you will have. Yeah, you'll have enough to know what it is. I've just got to double check my notes on what that item was.
Alright. Gotcha. At which point he turns to the dwarf and says, "Well, I'm the only one you know, so, but I'll take the compliment, thanks."
That's the same old spell. Okay. Yeah. The ring is a ring of water breathing.
Oh, nice.
It is.
Yes, it's just let me double check what it grants. Well, along with allowing you to breathe underwater, it also grants you a. It will also grant the wearer a deflection bonus to AC. But I'm just having to double check how much it is, because by the worth of it.
Yowzers.
Yeah, the joys of the innate item bonus rules.
Yeah. It will grant a +1 deflection bonus.
Cool.
So those are two different get out of. So those were definitely the head of the dam's two different get out of jail free options.
Get off the island cards.
Yeah, it's sort of. Am I right to just swim off? Yes, then I will do that. If not, please let this work.
Well, I can see the ring going well on any of the scouts. And I'll look to Barbato and Nyx.
Nyx, what's your AC?
It is. Let me look.
Actually, currently sitting on 20 AC, so probably not me.
Hers is 18.
Alright, Sperbotan's is the same. You want a dice for it?
Sure.
With the way these dice have been.
It was good swimming.
I have a 1.
Like, that should also dictate. Water breathing is kind of like sink to the ground.
I actually have a +5 to the swim.
Sperbotan kind of looks at Nyx, laughs, picks it up, rolls it again.
It's just them playing rock, paper, scissors, doing the same thing for half an hour.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Ah!
Oh. So you've also got. So where?
So he'll put the scroll in his pack to let Emma peruse later, and he'll slip the ring on.
Yes. Well, could I come to regret handing something like that out to so early? Almost certainly. Will it be funny? The end. Will it be funny and awesome? Almost certainly.
Well, to be fair, considering how you stepped into place, you may need it. Remembering that water trough.
Yeah.
How good can you swim, Barbato?
I can tread water and doggy paddle. That's about it.
I'm not a half bad swimmer, but I've still got the highest AC here.
Yeah.
Not by much.
What's your AC?
Now it's a 19.
20.
Like I said, not by much.
Well,
At
I
least.
guess the highest AC.
No, but at low levels, 1 point either way can make all the difference.
Yeah, you also need to get these guys their mithril shirts and kilts. I'll point at them.
Yes. Oh, and
Oh, yeah. Like, that's planned for later. I need to do experiments still.
Oh, actually, no. Your experiment should, with it being, we've already done the escalation of the 2 weeks, so you should have the material now, so we can go over that if you want once you get back to the mainland, because I'm guessing you want to explore the rest of the place.
Yep.
So, do you want to go through the other door in the office, or go back and check the rest of the building first?
Let's check the office door.
Okay. Well, the door is locked, but you do have the keys now, so.
Yeah, but I'll get it open. I'll just start trying the keys, and it basically just safely say as we start going back, I'll start locking the doors behind us.
Okay. This is very clearly a bedroom. Chiefly because this is one of the few places you've seen where the bed is actually mostly intact.
Detect magic on the bed.
Quilt's gonna fly around the room and just kind of look around. If he can't find anything, then he's just gonna start poking at the sheets.
I will say there is one thing that will definitely be of interest to Quoth, because it would be of interest to you. Along with the room and a desk here, which is more of a personal writing desk, there is also a bookshelf with several intact books.
Okay, never mind. Quilt's gonna head straight over there and start just kind of giving the group a look of grab them, grab them, grab them.
No, I don't know. Maybe we should leave them.
I want to start looking through the books.
Okay.
While they check the books, Verboten will check the writing desk.
I'll give the bed a look over.
Alright then. Alright. So.
But, by the way, that wasn't a joke. We should actually detect magic on the bed. There are some magical beds out there.
Right. Well, the desk has a open compartment that in the center, which contains extra. It's not locked, but you can lift it up, and it's got several sheets of parchment inside. There's also a connected inkwell, although that has dried out.
Just add water.
Yeah, pretty much.
Verboten will squirrel away the water in the inkwell. Or paper inkwell.
Okay, fair enough. We'll go to the bed next and save the books for last. The bed is amazingly soft. Softest thing you've ever encountered, Arusk.
Even if it doesn't detect magical, I'm taking it with me as my own mattress.
That will be difficult. It's a king-size bed.
I have the Yasha and I can try.
Well, you do have a teleport scroll.
I may more want this mattress, but I'm not spinning a teleport scroll on this.
I can carry it.
Shrugs.
I was gonna say it's. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yasha will
it's.
go over and help Cardinal.
Okay, well, it's between even the quilt is still in semi-decent quality, and you've got basically a combination of silk and brushed cotton for the materials.
Does it detect it's magical?
No one's actually used detect magic, so.
Verboten looks at everybody's size and detects magic.
The bed is actually magical.
I told you! Told you!
Oh my gosh.
Iris just moves to back up Yasha.
Notice Verboten hasn't yet said anything about whether it's magical or not.
So what did you find?
I'll have to wait till the DM tells me.
Okay, well, if you could just make me a spellcraft check and then.
Yes.
It's a bed.
But Verbatim, if you could give me a spellcraft check, and then after that we'll get to the books. Okay, the bed has an effect that guarantees the benefits of that half the time it requires to get full rest, and doubles the amount of healing you would normally receive whilst resting in it. It can also once per week remove the exhausted condition from somebody.
Cool. So Verboten looks at Rusk and, well, it's kind of cursed, and if you sleep in it, it has bed bugs.
That would be a bluff and a sense motive.
I just don't personally trust that because it's a bed for, probably the guy that had the teleport scroll.
Yep, more than likely.
Yeah, I just look at Verboten and just go, yeah, right. And I start going. Well.
He just grins.
Yeah. Okay, and as for the books, you've got a few different books on a few different types of engineering, chiefly about hydraulics.
Oh, cool.
But you also have a few books on a few fiction novels and a few history books.
Verboten will put the engineering ones in his pack.
Very nice. Yeah, we need to get those. We'll at least share those among the engineers, help them out. Again, they put the fiction novels in maybe like a room, just let people, just make it something so people just can come in and start reading whenever they want.
Be useful tools for teaching people to read too.
Agreed.
I'm gonna take one of the engineering novels though and read it while I'm here.
As for the last two rooms, just to say, because it's only two more rooms and I might as well give you the details, it's effectively a mess hall and a kitchen.
Anything useful in the kitchen?
Give me a quick perception check and then we'll see what you can find.
We found the oldest piece of moldy bread ever.
It can be used as a bludgeoning weapon now. It's a 1d6.
Oh please, if it's a piece of dwarven battle bread, it does more than a blooming d6.
On a natural 20 you have to save against black lung.
Okay, you do find a few more. You do find a couple more cases of the dwarven long-term rations. So effectively, the dwarven MREs, as I dubbed them during one of the sessions.
Gotcha.
You also
I thought you were going to
find.
say blasting gel. I'm like, why would they keep blasting gel in the kitchen?
That's for when the hobgoblins get here.
I was going to say, I would not put it past some of the chili heads I know. But that aside, you also do find several masterwork cooking pots and masterwork kitchen utensils.
Masterwork kitchen utensils and what?
A few masterwork cooking pots. Of differing sizes.
Excellent. This will be great. To get back to the camp.
Yeah. Now it's just whether you can fit it all in the boat.
All right, let's start. I'm gonna start setting this place up behind us, and I'll just once we get to the shore, we can start settling in for the night. We can just start working on basically a small raft we can tow behind us.
Before you guys leave, you'll notice Quoth is just doing his darndest, although he's not succeeding well, in putting the history books in your packs.
Taking them, relax.
Let's go back to the room with the two contingency plans. Let's check out the walls.
Okay. What are you looking for in particular, if anything?
Any strange stones or anything like be pressed in or anything like that.
Okay. You're looking for a maintenance hatch for the hydraulics.
Not a maintenance hatch for the hydraulics. I'm figuring with someone with this many contingency plans, there might be a way to walk back to the castle.
Okay, give me a perception check. Oh, you already have, never mind.
I'll help.
Well, no, that was for the other thing.
Alright.
I'll do another perception check.
And I don't help at all.
I do plan on just spending time in here and looking around, so
Okay.
we have no danger or anything. So I'll just take 20.
Okay. Unfortunately, no, you do not find a tunnel. Or any secret any stone secret passages or anything like that.
It'd either be in here or into the bedroom.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can search the entire building, but no, there isn't actually a tunnel let back.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Up in the same thing. Alright, I go up with Yasha and we start working on getting a raft set up so we can lug the mattress behind us. I know they floated water, but I'm still not doing it to the magic mattress.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if nothing else, and now you just have to fight people. And now you just have to fight the medical division who want to put it in the sick bay.
Oh, gross.
What? It promotes double healing. Are you telling me you wouldn't want something like that in a sick bay?
I wouldn't want it, getting sick people on it.
Like, if anyone needs healing, they can come share us this bed. Other people get first priority.
Right. But yeah, you're able to get together enough stuff to get a raft or two together to carry the stuff back.
Oh yeah, I pointed the. We should. Someone should scout the water.
I was gonna say, Verboten won't be in the boat. He's gonna walk along the bottom.
Okay.
We should. I'm gonna hand him a rope and connect it to the boat.
The boat's his balloon.
Just in case you need to come up, pull it twice, and we'll lift you up.
Okay, assuming that the depth never goes beyond the length of the rope.
I have 2 ropes. I tie them together.
So you've probably got enough to get it's probably not more than 100 feet deep, which is length 2 ropes.
So 2 of them together should be fine.
Yeah.
Right as he's about to go in the water, he can say, "Should we tell him about the crocodiles?" And I just push him in.
Okay, so you're floating down, and you have got dark vision, haven't you, Verboten?
Correct.
Thought you had.
Yes or no?
Well, normally they only have low light vision, but
Correct.
Oh. They have a Pathfinder.
well, to be fair, gnomes in Pathfinder are more fey than they are tunnel dwellers. So you're walking along the bottom. You do see a few crabs scuttling about. And if you could get me a quick perception check. Okay, and right, you notice several varieties of fish, and as you notice one in particular, could you give me a stealth check? Okay, it doesn't notice you. There is one particular fish you see swimming by. Do you have knowledge of nature of a bat? Well, of course you're a bard, so if you can make me a knowledge of nature check.
I'll reroll that.
Okay. Alright, the creature you see looks very similar in build to a pike.
Yay.
However, it is 10 feet long, and from belly to back, and depth-wise from belly to back is about 3 feet deep.
Woof. Swallow whole comes to mind.
Yes, this is a large variety of monstrous fish. You're not sure of the name, but you are sure it's a carnivore.
Hey, the good thing about the system that I just set up with the 2 poles is if he gets eaten by something, we're gonna have a good dinner.
I'll be fair. I will say, it could probably swallow Kraggle whole, let alone Yuva-button.
Anything else of interest down here?
Is there a way that it could be moved and placed somewhere else?
What, the jumbo pike?
Yeah, like say in a place where if people just happen to fall into it, they would end up getting, like say, an advancing army.
If you could catch it and wrangle it, maybe.
I'm sure the river by the camp is big enough for it.
I'd say, I would point out though that if you put it in the river rather than in the lake, you're probably not going to have many fish in the river for very long. There are a few other different types of fish, but you don't really notice anything beyond that, and maybe a few bits of broken boats that are, very old.
We'll probably do a speak with animals and talk to the fish as he's walking along.
Okay.
Not looking for anything in particular, just making conversation.
Alright. They do say to be careful of Evermore, which you're guessing refers to the jumbo pike.
Probably. Yeah, he looked rather large.
Yeah. But, but yes, you're able to travel through the lake without any... You do get occasional glances of Evermore, but thankfully he doesn't seem to notice you.
Works for me. Have to see if my explosive tips work underwater.
And thus, the bard invented fishing with dynamite.
I did that a couple of sessions back.
Fair point.
Plus, I still got grenades on me, so we're good.
Oh dear.
At this rate, we're not gonna, when we do the sequel campaign, we're gonna get past Renaissance probably like World War I.
Yeah, well, too bad. Well, at least you'll get something, even though the Iron Kingdom game fell through. Oh dear. And well, that implies that the technology won't have been lost in the time between the Age of the Gods and whenever I decide to start the new campaign. Because I'm definitely doing it after all of you lot have moved on to the ethereal plane, because, dear God, I'm not doing a setting where these characters are running around along with your newborns.
Oh no, I plan on putting into my church, like, the recipe for these explosives, so at least that's gonna live around.
We'll plan to make sure nothing is lost.
However did you guess? It's not like it's completely undermined some of the threats I've created. But it's fine, really. I'm not really going to do that if you want to have it kept around. I'll just make it phenomenally expensive in the future.
Fair enough.
Because let's be fair, getting hold of nitro isn't exactly easy in the modern world.
Very
That's a matter of opinion.
Well, I don't know anywhere where you could buy it.
Plus, if you're looking for like napalm, I can make that for you for like $5.
Well, yes, but that's just because you can make it out of cat litter and bleach. Or is that Semtex? I know you can either make an incendiary or an explosive out of cat litter and bleach. There's a few other ingredients, but those are the main two that you can pick up from shops.
And this is how our campaign got on a FBI watch list, people. Yeah.
Well, it'll boost viewership if nothing else.
True. We have a bunch of anarchists just watching now. It's like, oh, that's how you make napalm.
Our sponsor is now the Anarchist Cookbook.
No, because that'll just get us shut down.
Really, they stopped banning like a while ago because half of the recipes in there aren't useful.
Well, they might have stopped banning it over there. I'm not sure if they've stopped banning it here in the UK.
Because half the recipes don't even work.
Yeah, as I say, and the UK is very twitchy about what you can put up on the internet at this point. Not as twitchy as it's going to be in a little while, but that's for another day. So, now you've just got to carry all this cooking gear and the crates of food and the mattress uphill.
I drama when you need them. I can do like half of that because, yeah.
Yeah, dwarf, not slowed down and by weight. It's still probably going to be a decently long trip.
Yep, even if it's just one.
Okay.
We'll crack his neck and get started.
Right, so Kragel, do you want to go into the details of the stuff you've been developing, or do you want to actually work on crafting something first?
I'm going to work on crafting something out of it, but I will tell them since it's successful. I'll be like, I've invented a new iron. I call it Divine Blood Iron.
Yeah, just to check some stuff for puncture marks. What does it do?
Well,
it causes others to bleed when you cut them with it.
No.
and also prevents bleeding if it's made into armor.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a new special material that can be used to make weapons that automatically deal a point of bleed damage if it's made out of this metal, or prevents a point of bleed damage if armor is made from it.
So at first I thought he was just being facetious.
Me too.
No, he has used his own divine blood to make a new special material.
Yeah. But his first answer was...
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's also basically metallic crimson in colour.
So it looks like rusted iron, basically.
I was more thinking, sort of a red gloss paint sort of look, but alright, if you want to have it look rusty, that's fine.
I may need to sort of this eventually.
So we'll work on you.
Saying,
Good.
I'm just saying, if we're going to be crafting more of this, I'm going to need more than just my own blood. We'll see.
So, apart from that, anyone else have any plans they want to deal with at the moment?
No. So the only thing I wanted to do as well, they were gone at the island stuff. I wanted to keep working on my holy symbol.
That's not a problem.
So I'll just make my blacksmithing check.
Cool. And, right, with the extra time of work, I believe we can also get to cracking on with the rituals if you want to.
Oh, okay. That was religion, right?
Religion. Yeah, if you want to help figure out some specific ones to bolster the power, yes.
Okay.
Because the circle should be about ready by this point. Okay, so yeah, you've got a couple of different rituals that will give further boosts to the power. And they're obviously group rituals, so it's up to you lot who wants to do the stone shield and who wants to be involved in the wave shield ritual.
Emma will invite, she won't demand, but she will invite any of the people who are able to cast spells to help with the ritual, with her ritual.
Okay. Now, if you could also give me a knowledge arcana check, Emma, just to see what you want to add onto it, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, with Aaron's ritual suggestions and the sapphire and the location, you should be alright anyway.
Yeah.
And at least you got it out of the way before you actually do the rituals.
Yeah.
If you could just have you got diplomacy, Emma?
I do not have diplomacy, but
Okay, if you could just give me
I'll at least make the roll.
I was going to say, could you just give me a straight charisma roll then?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, I believe...
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got, I believe, what, 10 mages?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you've got about half of them with you. So you've got a focus.
Okay,
so you've got 6
alright,
people, including Marana.
Alright.
So you've got a. So we'll say it's a +6 on whatever you roll for the next couple of rolls for the ritual.
Woohoo!
Now you do know from your Arcana check that you can also affect it with that time of day and that sort of thing can also affect rituals. So do you have a particular time you intend to do it?
Phase of the moons, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Emma is. What phase of the moon is it right now?
Well, you can technically wait for the appropriate phase if you want to wait for a specific phase of the moon.
Well, I mean, what's the phase? Like, is it close?
If you give it you're probably about a week off a full moon. So I'm guessing that's what you're looking for.
Emma will attempt the ritual that at night, but if it doesn't work, then she'll go for the full moon to try and do it again. See if it helps.
Okay.
And if it does work, then on the full moon, they'll come back and try and bolster it, see if they can make it more powerful.
Okay, just to say, could you roll me a knowledge religion check?
Okay. Those aren't skills. There we go.
Sleep deprivation getting to you a bit.
26.
Okay, yeah, that's more than enough to know that if you're intending to invoke the power, if you're intending to try and use the moon to bolster the power of a water spell, getting Arusk involved could be a benefit to you, since he has the darkness domain, which has a subdomain of moon.
Emma will go to Aris and say, Aris.
No. To the left, you see Aris commanding Yash and probably one of his other fellows to try and place the mattress.
I'm not gonna ask where you got the bed. And while speaking, Quill's gonna just fly off and start going after the packs where you put the books to kind of go to indicate there's stuff for her.
Okay.
Oh, did you find something interesting?
No, so now you know this. So now you pay attention to what we got. They found this mattress is actually magical, and it's the softest thing I've ever felt in my life. You can tell he's actually ignoring the comment of the books.
And you're sitting there with the books, reading them.
Yeah, are you reading any of the history books?
No, I throw you the bag, and there's history books and fiction books in there. Anything that doesn't relate to engineering.
Yeah, we got some engineering books, history, fiction. Send the engineering books to the engineers, of course. The rest I'd probably leave in the communal area just so anyone can read them.
Emma's eyes light up and she immediately runs and grabs all the history books. And afterwards she just goes, I almost forgot. Arusk?
You're sharing those books, but what?
Would you be willing to help me with my ritual?
How so?
Well, I'm hoping to invoke the power of the moon to make it a little bit more powerful. And if I went for the full moon, your assistance would actually be a benefit.
If you actually confirm you're not gonna be talking those books yourselves, yes.
I'm not. I'm gonna take this to the printing press and make copies.
Well, then you should actually say that instead of just letting us guess what you're doing.
What'd you think I was gonna do with them?
And then read all, and then only give them back to us.
Emma just kind of goes, I'm gonna read them, but I'm gonna make sure there are other copies so other people read them at the same time.
I heard that, but you didn't say it. But you actually got to tell us. You actually got to try and start telling us these.
And while walking away, Emma just goes, you can always just ask.
I can read your mind.
By the way, full moon may not be the best for the stone one.
No, but Emma's the one doing the water ritual.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying the water one, yeah, sure. The full moon, release and sealing of attention, you know. But the waxing moon is better for refinement, so.
So, at the moment would be better for Aaron. So, so is it going to be Aaron or Nyx doing the stone shield ritual, or are you going to be doing it together?
I'm down for doing it together. That'll actually strengthen it better. I think.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
I will ask that if you're gonna help, I'm gonna need assistance from your divine huntsman and your medics.
That's fine. I'll bring him along.
So I'll bring mine also. So, probably if you're cool with this, Nyx, have both of us in the middle of the ritual, and during it I want to cast channel positive energy, and then try to link my guys, her guys, and her all in this ritual together.
Okay, that will be an additional check. That'll be an additional check I'll need you to do, but that's not a problem.
That's fine.
I'll get some of my own rogues as well, Yasha, and basically during the ritual I'll summon my shadow sword and basically use that sort of like a focus and start copy whatever what the other people are saying as part of the ritual and say it in neck roll.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll save that for when we're dealing with the water ritual, because I'm guessing you were meaning for the water one, not the stone one, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay,
Not
right.
a problem. It's just I wanted to make sure I said that before I forgot about it.
No problem. Alright, so we'll start with the stone ritual and then probably do the water ritual, and then we'll probably leave the rest of the stuff for next week because it's 11 PM here.
No worries, man.
Alright.
I just want to be in the area of the stone ritual.
Okay. Just watching or actually involved in the circle?
I'm going to try something during it, but I'll ask them before I try it. If it would be beneficial for it.
Okay.
Do you think it would be beneficial to use the protection on all the people when they're doing it? They may be able to focus some of the divine power into it.
I think it would bolster it, yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, Aaron, if you want to make me...
Because I am linking everybody, so it definitely would help.
Yeah, if you want to know the exact potential effect, you could do a knowledge religion check for the potential impact.
Sure, why not?
Okay, that's enough that if it's timed right and you're fairly sure you know the timing, you could actually get it to... Well, between the two of you... Yeah, between the two of you, you could definitely get the timing right, and you would be able to effectively grant those who are on the wall, grant those who are within the barrier selectively, so it'd only be those who are currently living within the area being affected by the circle. So,
Okay.
with the effect for probably the next month, and you could renew that effect with a similar ritual once a month.
Okay. Sounds like we have a monthly ritual we need to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to do the full Stonewall ritual. You wouldn't need to do the Stone Shield ritual. You could do a ritual revolving around Shield of Faith, which would give which could work a similar effect.
Okay.
The Stonewall will be a permanent ritual. It's it's just to combining Shield of Faith with the Insight bonus with the Protective Aura will be what allows you to get that as a repeatable ritual.
Sweet.
Okay, and if you guys are bringing along, so each of you will be getting a +6 as well on your next few rolls.
Okay.
Sounds good. Also, I decided the next one I'm going to use Steve's Kansas. That just fits with me more.
I was going to ask about that before you started.
It just proceed fitting just because of it being a ritual of the night.
Mm.
And I will say before any of the rituals start, Emma will have dropped all the books off with her crew, who are just about to start printing books, and she just goes, "We have books, copy, print. I want enough for everybody. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go watch rituals." And then she's gonna go and watch the stone ritual.
Okay. So.
I'm still reading until it's my turn to be part of it.
Yeah.
Right. So there'll be. It's up to you guys if you've got. Do you want it to? So you've got various chants you can do, which will be part of it. But it's up to you guys what language you want to use. I don't know if you've got any you have in common. Well, apart from Elven and Goblin in common.
I don't know what you guys got, so.
We should probably speak like a language of the earth, so Dwarven works.
I've got Goblin, Common, Goblin, Orc, Draconic, Giant, Undercommon, Necro, and Thieves' Cant.
The only things I believe I share with you guys is Goblin and Common. That's about it.
Fair enough.
Because I'm not very linguistic.
Well. Yeah, so.
I can teach you whatever, like, we can just teach each other a chant in any language. You know, we just have to go over it a few times. Doesn't mean you're proficient in the language, but you'd be proficient in the chant.
I mean, down for whatever.
Oh, I do think you guys have an idea, but since I'm doing the night ritual and I'm using my own focus, I will stick with Thieves' Camp. I do agree with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I would agree. So,
For the Earth one, I'd say either Dwarven or Terran.
Yeah.
If anybody has Terran.
You know?
I don't have either.
so
So,
probably go
you're
with
gonna have to
Dwarven.
teach me.
Yeah, so I'd say go with Dwarven for the chant if you want to do an actual elementally aligned language. But if you want to just do it in common, that will work just fine.
Okay.
So, right, if Aaron, if you could give me a knowledge religion.
Okay.
Next, if you could give me a knowledge nature.
Is there any knowledge local for me?
It will be once we get to that point. So 26 and 17 respectively, because we're dealing with this one first. As you begin the chant, the runes begin. The agate begins to glow gold. The various runes and markings begin to glow forest green. You also notice that around the circle, small pieces of stone begin to float into the air.
I think this is an earthbender.
Aaron, if you could give me a spellcraft check.
Oh God, why would you pick that for me? Our worst. I don't even have ranks in that thing.
Oh, if you don't have ranks, give me another knowledge religion then. Okay, and at this point, this will be the point to begin channeling your positive energy.
Yeah. Oh God, where's my? One second.
No
Where's
problem.
it at? Oh.
There is a burst of golden light, and each of those involved in the ritual become surrounded by a silver pillar of light, covered in what appears to be emerald vines. Kragel, if you could give me a knowledge religion check.
Cameron.
Nashi, dude, you alright?
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Just
And
takes me a moment.
no problem, dude. It's just because you didn't respond, I was just making sure you'd heard me. I know sometimes I break up on Discord because Discord is Discord. And okay, if you could use. Okay, and this will be the moment to use your ability. So if you just give it to burst of the protective aura.
Yep, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. And as that's done, there appears to be what appears almost like the patterns of a shield or a protection rune in vibrant orange appear across the golden circle. And as the ritual begins to wind down and coalesces, you note that around the circle is now a ring of risen stones. And although you cannot see it, in front of the camp there has been a strange green glow, almost like roots growing out from the palisade. And as your ritual comes to completion, jagged stone shoots from the earth, binding itself to the palisade.
Sweet.
That's gonna not make some people freak out.
Yeah, there's a wee bit of screaming going on, yes.
So we
What?
hear the well-known scream from the camp.
Near enough.
I guess nothing from me then.
Well, you're involved in the water ritual, dude.
You're
It's
in the water one. This is the earth one, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we had gotten past that. Never mind.
Nope.
no, we're just doing the earth ritual. We still got to do the water ritual.
Okay, no, yeah, no, I get confused which one we were doing.
Yeah.
No, that's going to have a completely different light show. And each of the and despite appearing rough stone, each of the circle's runes are actually laid out across the front of the wall. They're not initially they glow emerald green, but eventually as the ritual completes they fade just to to very shallow rune markings on the walls. So we're now in front of your palisade. Each piece it has a 2-foot thick piece of stone in front of it.
That isn't going to confuse the hell out of anyone who decides to attack us.
Sort of, how in the hell? Particularly as it is a single solid piece of stone, only breaking at the drawbridge.
The drawbridge grew some spikes for the hell of it because of this ritual.
No, but it's sort of... Alright then. How did they get that up in 10 weeks?
I just have this image of them coming attacking, and all the spellcasters just going, I believe we were grossly misinformed.
Or just an, oh shit, they've got spellcasters moment. Right, on to the water ritual on the night of the full moon.
And noticing how everyone freaked out with the earth ritual, Emma will let everyone know that there will probably be some strange things around the water, so if they want to watch, they can. Otherwise, if you feel it'll make you uncomfortable, you may want to stay in the main hideout area.
Okay, and just to say, Aris, for your bit, it's going to be stealth rolls rather than knowledge local.
Alright.
Well, you used stealth to evoke your darkness power last time, so I figure you might as well stick with it.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Good question. This ritual, what's it for?
It is to make any fire magic weaker.
Since
Don't-
Okay, I give you a vial, and I'm like, put this in part of the ritual. Well, when I'm in my room studying the books still.
And taking, I will say thank you, and then she'll ask, when you're done with those, will you please take them to the printing press so they can make more books?
Oh yeah, I figure they already have a backup on the ones that you gave them, so I'll give them a little bit of time.
So,
Thank you.
now I'm just curious what the vial was.
Yeah, Eris, if he knows about that, he's gonna check that.
Aaron would like to help with the water one too.
Emma kind of nods and goes, do you think you could add create water to it?
No.
No, you can't? No.
Yeah, I didn't take that one, but I would. It's kind of somewhat helps with Arask, but this is more for undead. Can I cast Hide from Undead with them while they do that ritual?
We suddenly turn the entire river into holy water.
I was going to say,
That may be a good idea. Also, if Emma's going to see, she's not sure if she can, Oh, darn it. Where's the spell that hurts undead and helps allies?
As I was going to say, I was just going to say, Aaron, just because you haven't initially taken the spell, you are technically, you know, the god of clerics. You can technically access any cleric spell. So if you want to swap something out, out for the ritual, you can do.
Okay. I figured this was kind of like when you create magic items, you just need to know the spell. But if that's the case, then yeah.
So you were looking for create holy water or blessed water, or was it?
No, I was gonna do hide from undead.
I will say hide from undead in this case would probably require a separate ritual because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do
that, it would go with the stealth from.
No, because he's looking to use. He's rolling stealth to evoke his darkness domain, but he's looking to channel more the aspect of the moon.
Okay.
So any water spell from the level 1 or 0 cleric list you could do.
Well then, I feel like it'd be better for me to use Sanctuary then. Because I actually know that spell, because I don't go anywhere without that one.
Okay, you want to work Sanctuary into it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Now I have to figure out how Sanctuary would work into the spell.
Alright, Emma will confer with Aaron about the best way to about when the best time to put that part into the spell would be.
One way I may suggest to Chris is perhaps something like creatures of low enough intelligence, as long as they're not attacked, they're generally more passive.
Yeah, I think, actually, yeah, sorry, it just threw me for a bit of a loop there, but yeah, it'll probably be basically you won't have to deal with hostile animals.
Yeah, that's fair, and now you gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, since I've been trying to add my trickery ability as well if possible.
Oh, you want to add your trickery?
Yep, if I can.
Okay, right.
My shadow duplicate ability, so maybe make, I don't know, maybe make something like an easier blade to hop, maybe like a bonus to stealth.
See now, if they use the vial that I gave them, they're actually mixing in one of my domains into the spell.
So is it your blood by any chance?
Yeah, that was the Arcana roll was to try and figure out the best spot to put the vial.
Probably right in the middle if you're looking to actually incorporate it.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, I know how that'll get incorporated, and... Okay, I'm not sure how I'd incorporate your trickery domain, Aris, so I'd say save that for maybe a ritual next time that we could do with the hide undead thing.
Alright, then I'll go back to my previous roll, trying to channel the moon.
Okay.
By the end of the ritual, Eris is in a Sailor Moon outfit.
Oh god, past the brain bleach.
People watching, get on that fan art. Show it to us. I want to see it.
I'll draw a doodle.
Right. Okay, so... Emma, if you could make a knowledge arcane check.
Alright.
Here's your tutu.
I'm not looking, because then I'll just pay attention to that instead of concentrating on the ritual.
Yeah.
Alright, Emma's gonna get everyone together and just start. And here we go.
Okay. Okay, so +6, so 25.
Mm-hmm.
Arusk, if you could make a stealth check. Well, that's definitely working. And Aaron, if you could make a knowledge religion check since you wanted to get involved in this. Aaron, you there?
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
I literally just stepped away for a second.
No problem.
And just so you know, outside of the people ours brought, Emma would probably be encouraging them to do Thieves' Cant, while all the casters will be doing the chant in Draconic.
Okay.
I mean, not Draconic, but
Yeah, no problem.
darn it.
And so, Aaron, if you could make a knowledge religion check.
Actually, yeah, I do have Aquin. Yeah, we're all chanting in Aquin.
Okay, fair enough.
You're gonna have to teach me that one too. Jesus.
Well, no, you. Okay, let's see.
I actually I forgot I put that as a language I got for when I had to put a skill in linguistics.
Yeah. Okay, so 27. Okay. So the initial part of the ritual, when Aris uses his sword at the center. So initially, the circle begins glowing sapphire blue. As that Arusk puts his shadow weapon into the center, it sets out into black, almost into 8 black wheel spokes, covered in silver runes. There are runes in both a paler shade of blue and in gold from the work of Aaron and Emma. And there are a small subset, and there is a small ring of red runes from. Oh, and if Kragel, if you could make me a knowledge religion check.
Wait, give me a second.
No problem. It's only a minor thing, but yeah, that's able to get a yeah, with a 15, that's just able to get the effect triggering off. There is a small ring of red runes at the just sort of midway through the circle. As the ritual reaches its high point, the sapphire energy begins to spill out from the circle and into the lake. It spreads rapidly until all the water in the lake is glowing sapphire blue, with the white from the crests of the waterfall turning the same silver as the moon. As it progresses, there begin to be flickers of black, red and gold, almost as if there's a great stream of fish flowing down the river. And eventually this fades away. So, here are the following effects. The water can now hold up to 50 charges of wave shield. At a time, and will use it automatically whenever a fire effect crosses the water. Secondly, the water acts as a calming effect, meaning that unless provoked, any animal with an intelligence below 3 will not attack, so long as it has drank from this lake or travelled along it, or travelled along the river rather. And finally, drinking from this river will now also remove any bleeding damage from anyone who has suffered such. So that's quite the potent river.
They may want to send us some extra guards because they obviously like looking for that light show if they could see it from here. From wherever from wherever
Well,
they
I will say, even if they couldn't see it from here, you didn't just light up the lake and the river in front of yourselves. You lit up the entire course of the river.
are. Yeah, we're gonna put some extra people on watch.
I'm going to say, as you will find out when you head back into the town and find out that, yeah, actually the aqueducts, they were glowing.
Oh yeah, I'm in town. I noticed that.
Yeah. Basically, every water source in the city is glowing during the
God,
ritual.
Is my beer glowing?
No, no, it's no, only actual water that's linked to the river.
Okay, good.
Now, if you want to start creating magical beer, that's a whole different set of rituals. Although now, if you use the water for brewing beer, it will probably remove bleeding damage.
So just by using this water, we get magic beer. And once the ritual is done, Emma will just be very, very happy. A little frustrated that it created a bit more fancy lights than she would have wanted. But like all her students, she's just like, very good, everyone, very good, very good. Wow, that was very impressive.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, I gotta try and go calm people, make sure people aren't gonna freak out.
Yeah, I will say part of the reason that it was effective for as large a region as it was partially because you got such a good roll on the invocation of the moon's power.
I hope so.
Because otherwise it would have just, if you had not got the 36, it would have just affected, you know, up to a point in the river rather than the entire course.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure that if anyone's bleeding, that we are fighting. Don't let them touch the water.
Yeah, we could have some people dam the river once we know the army's gonna get here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can now drown them with a healing potion. Oh, that's just funny.
Actually, that is hilarious.
If you were bleeding before, you're going to be fine. Well, as long as you can breathe water. Right, folks, it's been a longer session than usual. It is now 11:30 here 11:30 at night in the UK, so I'm going to be saying thank you very much for watching. We will see you all next week when we have further preparation. When we will have some further preparations and potentially the beginnings of the siege.
I really kind of wish I had scrying right now, or a way, because
No, see, I'm just imagining the fish after a week. They're like floating in divine power right now.
There may be some side effects, yes, we will discuss that later, but anyway, bye folks, we shall see you next week, and good to see you made it, Jazzy, and you, Nair, take care.
Mm-hmm. Alright, bye.
Later. Alright. And then Chris, I will safely say I'll probably message you my plans for...
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to message you my ambush plans.
No problem.